So Tuesday afternoon, attorney Tony Busby made an announcement stating that Cleveland Browns' Deshaun Watson has settled on 20 of the 24 civil lawsuits filed against him by the women that were felt like they were sexual assaulted or misconduct. Now, if you remember, Deshaun Watson, he settled the 10 criminal complaints, and the two grand juries declined to indict him. So now what we're faced with now is like what things like four more lawsuits, and then of course the two that were just added this month, which made it up to 26, and of course the whole situation with the NFL. What is Deshaun Watson's punishment going to be moving forward? Because as we stated in the last video or the last pod, excuse me, it's almost impossible for the NFL not to suspend Deshaun Watson at this point after the whole New York Times story that broke where he met with over 66 women from 2019 to 2021, a 17-month span, and the same stories have been popping up as far as due to the victims, with certain things that he liked during the massages. Um, that's the obvious part. Now, again, we made the prediction that the NFL may possibly still end up suspending Deshaun Watson for at least a year. But as for the other women, like excuse me, Ashley Solis, the first woman to speak out, because we really don't have any faces or names to the other women that filed civil suits, excuse me. She did not settle. So Tony Busby also put out a statement stating, I announced that all cases against Deshaun Watson, with the exception of four, have settled. We are working through the paperwork related to those settlements. Once we have done so, those particular cases will be dismissed. The terms and amounts of the settlements are confidential. We won't comment further on the settlements or those cases. Now, again, it's going back to Ashley Solis, and the other four women who have accused Deshaun Watson. Uh, it's I remember when the Dolphins were about to end up pulling the trigger on the trade for Deshaun Watson. I believe it was Stephen Ross who wanted Deshaun Watson to settle all of his cases. And at the time, this was probably somewhere around the trade deadline. So that's probably in last October. He was only able to get 18 to settle at the time. So making progress. We got 20 settled. We got four left. But that Ashley Solis situation, she was very very emotional in her two interviews. Obviously, like, you definitely have to take her those situations seriously. But honestly, as far as this affecting what's going to happen with the NFL, I really don't think it's going to affect it at all. I feel like they're still going to try to give him the maximum the maximum punishment that they could possibly give him, just because of the fact that the NFL wants to stay in a positive light, considering the fact that the NFL is not just watched by men; it's watched by women too as well. And just listening to the response from the Cleveland Browns fans and other fan bases of them possibly having a Deshaun Watson on their roster, it's definitely not a positive thing. Even though that the saying goes, it's innocent till proven guilty. They're already ready to already ready to well, wanted to indict him before that case even happened. But again, we don't know what's going to happen. What's going to happen with it? We're going to continue to move forward with the situation, with the information that is given, the he say, she say, and that's going to be that.
Nah for the bay. Nah for the bay. We don't care what you said. Nah for the bay. Nah for the bay. Nah for the bay. We ain't hearing what you said. Nah for the bay.